We are looking at Chapter 2 of Word 2010, using tables and templates to create resumes and cover letters. Objective 1, create a table. Activity 2.01, creating a table. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a save as. Our blank document here. And I'm going to put this in Word Chapter 2, and I'm going to call it Clean Tom 2A Resume and save it. Yours will probably be new. I've already played with this before, so there's a copy of the file out there. And now we want to go down to the footer, and we want to right click in the footer. This is another way to edit the footer. Click on Edit. And we're going to do what we always do here. We're going to go to Quick Parts. We're on the Header and Footer Tools, the Design tab. And go to Quick Parts, and we're going to insert a field. And the field we're going to insert is down here under the F's, the file name. And click on OK, and now we have the file name down at the bottom. And if we close this, it'll take us back into our document. I'm going to turn this Show Hide button on here so I can see all my paragraph marks and spaces and tabs and stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert a table. That's on the Insert tab, and table is right here. And you can just draw a little picture of your table here. We want one that has 4 rows and 2 columns, 2 by 4. There's our table. The table is always going to have these little funny circles with the 4 points coming out of them, and I think that's just Word's way of letting you know that you're working on a table. So that takes care of activity 2.01. In activity 2.02 now we're going to add text to the table, and in the first cell here we're going to type in objective. I'm going to put the caps lock on. I'm going to tab over and turn the caps lock off. And we're going to type in retail. Okay, and period on the end. And every time you press tab, you move from one cell to the next. If you want to go backwards, do shift tab. Now we've got a little bit of text to type in here, so I'm going to... Okay, I've got my data typed in, but it doesn't look quite like it does in the book. I think there's a problem with the spacing after paragraphs, or maybe before paragraphs. And so let's go to the Layout tab here, Page Layout. And in the paragraph group here, this is where we control spacing. So my default spacing is to put 10 points after each paragraph. And it looks like they didn't put any in the book. So I'm going to drop that down to 0 points, and I forgot to select all of them before I did that. So let's make them all 0 now. And there we go. Now it looks a little bit more like what's in the book. And that's the end of activity 2.02. Now we're going to move on to 2.03. And just hit tab again, move down to this cell, and type in experience with the caps lock on. And then tab over, and we've got some text to type in here. And okay, so I've got the data typed in. And now we are on item 3, or item 4, in activity 2.03. And we want to go to the Insert tab. We're going to insert a file here that already has some of our stuff in it. And it's text, and it's an object. They don't have something here called file, but if you click on the object and choose text from file, it'll let you go find a file. And what we want is the W02A experience, and click on Insert. And it gets inserted for us. Okay. Now, that does not look like the right font. And if I go to my home and look here, it's Verdana. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to use the Format Painter. Click on this, and double click on my Format Painter, and drag that. And there we go. Now it looks the way I think it's supposed to look. Okay, and they want us to get rid of this blank down here at the bottom. Actually, this 2 blank lines at the bottom. And then we're going to type in tab down, hit the tab key. And we're going to type in education in caps. And then we're going to tab over, and we're going to type in some more stuff here. Okay, we've got all that typed in, and now we are at the end of activity 2.03, and it says to save our document, so we will. And now we're in activity 2.04, creating bulleted lists in a table. So we're supposed to scroll up to the summary of qualifications up here and select all of the text. And now we're going to go to the bullets button here and make them into bullets. Now I'm going to undo that. I'm going to do a Control Z. And let's see what happens if we select the whole cell like that. You notice everything is blue now, whereas before I had some white on the end. So as opposed to selecting 4 lines this time, what I'm doing is I'm selecting this entire cell. Now if I go up here and click on bullets, it still works. And now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to leave that selected, and then we are supposed to decrease the indent, and this is our decrease indent button up here, so that the bullets go back to the edge. And now what we want to do is we want to go to Experience down here, and first we want to take this, we're going to use our Format Painter again, double click on the Format Painter and go down here, and we want bullets for these 2 lines here, and it copies the formatting. And then we go down below, and from demonstrated down through received, we want 3 bullets. And then helped customers and assisted department manager should all be bullets too. And that is the end of objective or activity 2.04. And my computer wants me to speed things up a little bit here, so we will do that. Okay. And I need to go turn the Format Painter off when I'm done and do a save. So now we're on 2.05. We want to change the width of table columns. And we want to point to the vertical border between any 2 cells here. And we want to drag the column to the left until we get about to 1.25 inches here, which would be about right there on the horizontal ruler. And it says notice that the second row wraps to 2 lines to accommodate the new column width. And if necessary, in the left column, click any cell on the ribbon under Table Tools, click the Layout tab. So you need to be in here and go to Table Tools. We got 2 tabs under Table Tools, and we want the Layout tab. And what we want to do is take a look at the width value here, and right now mine says 1.39. We're supposed to make it 1.4 exactly, and your document should look something like that. That's the end of that activity, so we'll save it. And now we're on activity 2.06, which is adding rows to a table. And scroll to the lower portion of the table. In the last row, click anywhere in the second column and press Tab. And if you're at the bottom of a table and you press Tab, it opens up a brand new row for you. And we've got some text to type in here, and we'll just pause for a second and type that in. Okay, so we've got that typed in, and now what we need to do is make this a bulleted list as well. And we're going to do it the same way we did the first one. We're going to decrease the indent on it to get it back over here to the left. And now we want to click anywhere in the table to just scroll up and click anywhere in the table to deselect the text we had selected at the bottom. And now we're going to go to the top row, click any place in the top row, and we're going to go to the Layout tab again. And there's a Rows and Columns group over here, and one of the options here is to insert above. So we're going to insert a blank row above, and then we're going to save our document. And now we're going to move on to activity 2.07. And be sure the 2 cells in the top row are selected. If necessary, drag across both of them. They're still selected from before. And on the Layout tab in the Merge group, we want to merge those cells into one. So now we got 1 cell where we had 2. And now we want to go to the Home tab and the Paragraph group, and we want to click on a little dialog box launcher, this little button in the lower right hand corner. to display the paragraph dialog box, and in there's an indents and spacing tab, and we want to click on tabs down here to go in and set our tab stops. And under tab stop position, we want to put one at the 6.5 inch mark, and we want it to be right aligned. And it says click set, but you don't actually have to do that. You can just click on OK and it will work. And we're supposed to type a name in here, and then do Control Tab. If you want to insert a tab character in a table cell, you have to hold the Control key down. Otherwise, tab will just take you down to the next cell. And it takes us over. We've got a right tab here, and we're going to put in the name and address information over here. Okay, so we typed in that, and again, between this text and this text, I wanted a tab character to be inserted, and I had to do a Control Tab to do that. And the same thing down here on the second line. To get this stuff to be right aligned, I had to do a Control Tab. And that's probably a good place to stop for now, and we'll pick up with 2.08 on the next video.